Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Tosh Taylor.
And I'm Jenna Morton, and we have a returning guest in the studio with us this week. We are thrilled to have Julian LeBlanc back. Hello.
Am I really back?
You are back, and I can't believe how long it's been.
So I'm not a hologram. I'm not an AI version of myself.
We're not phoning it in from the West Coast.
Back.
I know, this is fantastic. So for those of you who did not catch our episode with Julian, it was like 2 years ago, so it's okay if you didn't. We're going to put the link to it in the show notes so you can go and watch that. Tell everyone what it is you do.
Absolutely, and we thought that was a year ago.
I know.
And then we looked, like time just goes by so fast.
So fast.
2 years.
Yeah.
2 years, but none of us aged. What's going on? So thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. My name is Julian LeBlanc. I am the CEO and president of LeBlanc School of Acting, which is the #1 acting school for film and TV training for youth in the world now, which is so cool.
Bravo.
And proudly Canadian.
Yeah.
Proudly Canadian. We're in over 30 countries.
Amazing.
Since you last saw me, we've grown in the UK quite a bit. We had the lead actor in The Nun 2 that just came out. We had an actor in Indiana Jones playing young Phoebe Waller-Bridges.
Oh, yeah.
Holly Lawton. The new Heartstopper season, we have an actor in it. It's just been cool to see how much it's grown in the UK, and now we're in Australia too. So what do you think? A trip to Australia, Jenna?
Oh, for sure. I'm in. Love it.
Okay, cool. First class, we have to do first class.
Please.
Yeah.
It's a long flight.
That's true.
So what I love about your school is not only how it's grown and the passion that created it, but the focus on youth and what is happening with youth and how you are helping youth in this industry.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about what exactly you guys are doing with these young students.
These young ones, these bright young ones, yeah, you know what, they inspire me every day because, I don't know what I would do growing up in today's landscape. Mm-hmm. I remember when I was in high school, there were no laptops, there were no phones yet in schools. Everything's changed, and they have to adapt really fast. There's a new social media app that they have to learn, every year. Mm-hmm. And, everything's quick, everything's so fast. And I think with that, mental health is a big component of it. And I really love that at LeBlanc, because we work with youth and we don't really work with adults, where a lot of schools will do both. They'll have an adult division and then also like a kids and teens division. We only work with youth, and so I feel like it allows us to be able to really see and shine a spotlight on what they're doing, how they're doing, how we can support them. Guardians and parents also feel like they can reach out to us, and we do. We get a lot of emails about, bullying, anxiety, and how we can support them with that too. And I'm really proud of the parents too, because they're not hiding with that anymore. Like they're feeling compelled to bring that into the light and discuss it more. So we even do like webinars and stuff to like showcase and shine a light on these kind of things. It's really, really important to not stigmatize and be afraid to discuss these things. So I'm just amazed, honestly, because we didn't have those resources. I didn't always have those resources when I was younger. But are you noticing that too?
Well, I think, across industries you see differences in how people approach things, but definitely with youth, there is this change in, I think, the onus on us as adults to understand how different their world is and how do we help try to navigate that, knowing that it's going to keep changing too, right? It's laying that foundation of, how do you teach coping skills and how to figure out things so that no matter what industry you land in, these skills are going to be there. Like you're working with kids who may go on and have acting careers or may go on and do something different, but I bet you the skills they learn about how to deal with these situations will stay with them.
When I was young, I had a gigapet that died every day.
Thank you.
That was my
stress.
youth. It kept dying, and I was like, I don't understand. I'm feeding it, and it dies every day. That was my youth.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you remember Pogs back in the
yeah.
day.
Oh yeah.
You would flip the
goodness.
coins, the Pogs.
Yes.
I was like, I mean, yeah, it's just a different thing. And what I love about LeBlanc is we do allow our students to have a place where they can be creatively free. They can really channel their emotions through art. And I think that's really, really important too, is to have an outlet. To have an outlet.
What a great way to think of it. I wonder, if there are parents out there who they have a child who's struggling to find that thing that might make them feel like they fit in wherever they are. Having something like your school, which is, has so many online options still, is such a great way to see if okay, maybe this is how we find your spot or your place where you can express yourself.
So funny, I remember you both saying last time about how new online was, and it was still pretty new in 2022. What's really cool now is it has stayed long enough for us to see that it's here to stay. So even auditions and stuff, it hasn't really gone back too much in the in-person way that we were thinking it may. So for those of you that have thought about it for your kids, even if it's something that you feel they want to try, virtual classes, it's amazing. They're loving it.
Yeah, and I like that something that you are focusing on as well, on top of the kids, is that there has been a resurgence of East Coast kids that are breaking out into the spotlight as well, which I think prior to, we assume Toronto kids, we assume, Vancouver kids, what have you. But to be a part of your school, like you said, you don't have to be in Vancouver. You can be doing these classes online from here in Moncton.
Absolutely. We have students from PEI. It's so cool. PEI that are landing roles in Hallmark movies. Morgan Saunders from PEI. She's been working pretty steadily. She's a wonderful little firecracker. And of all places, you're not going to believe this. Are you ready? Drum roll. Love that. Charles did the audio on that. So Newfoundland. Newfoundland has had an amazing amplification of production. It's just been wonderful. And there was a period of time where I had 4 or 5 students in Newfoundland filming on different projects at the same time. I had Sebastian Billingsley Rodriguez filming Peter Pan and Wendy for Disney Plus. I had Kyle Guerrero, who was filming Hudson and Rex, a season of Hudson and Rex. And then I had Alex West Leffler, who was filming a feature film there with one of the amazing actors from Titanic.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, Kate's mom.
I can't think of her name.
The name of the actress, but she's phenomenal, and she played Kate Winslet's mom in Titanic. And then we also had someone on the follow-up to Schitt's Creek called Son of a Critch on CBC.
Yes.
There's a follow-up to Schitt's Creek?
So it's not-
It's not a direct.
Okay.
Not direct,
Okay.
not
Okay.
direct, but
Okay.
it's from the producers of Schitt's Creek.
Okay, still got to be good then.
And
Well,
it's,
and it's Mark Critch's childhood, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
and it's so
Interesting.
good. And I have several students on that, and so we have Mark Ezekiel. We have Sophia Powers, who was on that. Yeah, so she plays young Fox, and her character goes through a really cool arc. It's just amazing.
And
to
I
see.
love that these roles you're talking about are not little background roles. These are prime roles that your students are landing. Like you said, Hallmark. I watch your feed, your social media feed online, and you guys are always giving these fabulous shout outs to the kids who are landing these roles. And time again, it is big name productions.
Yeah, it's so cool. We worked with the Fuller House twins on Netflix. We have someone that's going to be working with Guillermo del Toro in his upcoming feature film that's coming out soon with Jacob Elordi and Mia Goth. It's every day I'm waking up and there's just a new success to share. And it's great because sometimes it's someone that booked their first role. It's their first moment.
Yeah.
And it's just to take part in that and to be a part of that is just incredible. We have 3 actors right now filming in Malaysia for the new Lord of the Flies. They're doing a production on the iconic Lord of the Flies. 3 of the boys that were cast, LeBlancers.
Wow.
3.
Yeah.
That's
Right? And hundreds auditioned for that. And 3 of the 12, 15 that they cast were from our school, and I'm just like, it's so cool.
It's so cool. Can I also just
amazing.
point out for a second how cool it is that you have a worldwide company and you know these kids' names and you know the roles that they've landed. That speaks volumes for you. Volumes.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah, even in Australia, which is our new division, we're still, kind of getting to know the landscape there, and I can't wait to go. Like I said, if you're free, I don't know. We'll get Charles to book the tickets, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
totally in the budget.
Yeah, absolutely. And, on one show called Planet Lulin, it was a children's sitcom. We had Nina Gallus, Max Turner, Cassie Robb. All 3 were leads and recurring leads on that show. So it was cool that I've taught all the leads on that show for that show. And we have a girl who's just been nominated for a big award in Australia as well. They call it their Logie Awards.
I like that.
Yeah, and it's a big thing there. Ava Karyopoulos for her series Bay of Fires. So I try to, I remember it gets hard as it continues to grow, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yes.
wow, because
Yeah.
even in the U.S. now we're gaining a lot of people. But I stay humble. I'm a Moncton boy. My roots come from growing up in a foster care home from age 2 to 18. And I always, when I come down, visit my foster parents. I visit, my biological family as well. My grandmother, Madeline, my aunt Lucille. They're the world. Like, they mean everything to me. I would have nothing if it wasn't for these amazing, strong women. Heather, my foster mom, is just unbelievable. She's fostered over 50 kids.
Holy moly. Wow.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Which is amazing
Yeah.
over so many years. And, my foster dad, Paul, they're my mom and dad. I call them mom
Yes.
and dad
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Christmas was great because I had a lot of Christmases. Okay? People are like, was that so hard for you? It must have been, so trying. And I was like, oh, Christmas was nice. Christmas was good. I had like 4 or 5 Christmases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
It was all timed.
Do you,
Yeah.
do you think that having grown up that way is part of the reason that you're so good with children? Because you obviously had a bunch of younger siblings coming in and out of the house. It kind of gave you a chance to remember a lot of people's names, and but like and B.
That's
like,
not my OCD at all.
No,
No,
not at all.
Not at all. Yeah.
But it gave you a chance, and I wonder, were you giving like mini acting lessons to these kids before you even knew what you were doing?
That's so funny that you say that because I would also play school teacher. So I would have like a little chalkboard. I was like 9 or 10, and I would pretend to be a teacher in my room.
Yeah.
And I would like mark fake tests. I loved marking like these fake tests, and I would create 10 to 20 sheets of like fake answers on so I already knew. I knew so long ago I was going to teach. And working with young people, it's an amazing responsibility because a lot of young people haven't developed that self-confidence yet, that self-assurance. And I get to be a part of telling them and showing them that they can aim big, that they can go for it. Because one of my quotes is, don't hope you're going to do it, know that you're going to do it. I believe when people say, I hope I'm going to be this, or I hope I'll do this one day. When you say hope, there's a part of you that still thinks it won't happen. So my thing is, don't hope, know. K-N-O-W. Know that you're going to do it, and you're going to carve that path, even if it means you have to adapt. Sometimes curveballs will be thrown our way, so I teach them that too. Go for it, aim for it, but know that something could change on the path, but that's okay, as long as you're moving forward.
Love that.
Yeah.
I think that's good advice for anyone of any age.
Exactly. No, exactly, for anybody. And so I have a lot of parents who will say, my goodness, I'm going to use that for me.
Yeah.
And that inspired me to open a book club at LeBlanc. It's called LeBlanc's Legendary Book Club. We have over 200 moms now. I'm not kidding you, moms and dads. because I was inspired by many guardians and parents saying, what about us? What about us having something? It's always the kids. It's always the kids. And I went, well, what about a book club? And so we have a book every month, and I actually brought in the authors for different Zooms. And so that's kind of fun. That's a new thing.
That is super fun.
Yeah, that's really neat. But I love the idea of you getting these parents together in the same room, because it is like, I can't even imagine what these parents are going through with their kids going off to school every day. Like we were talking earlier about, all these different forms of social media that their kids have to deal with. And then on top of it, if these kids are landing roles, then jealousy comes into play with their classmates, right? And then bullying starts.
Time.
Yeah, so
Big time.
if these parents can even run things off each other too, even if I'm sure book club isn't just talking about the book the whole time.
No. And I'm so happy you're saying that, because bullying is on the rise, and oftentimes artistic kids, creative kids will be prime targets, just because, bullies will see that they have a passion that is fueling them, that is inspiring them. And oftentimes with bullies, they don't have that, right? Something could be going on at home. They may also see that someone else is, sparkling bright. And so what do? You dim that light. If you dim that person's light, you feel good about yourself. So we teach our students to also understand human psychology a little bit, because they're actors, so they study the human brain. So one of the things I'll teach my kids is, okay, that's awful and unfortunate that you're going through that, but let's think about that bully and maybe why they're doing that, so you can feel a little bit separate from that. So you're not taking that baggage on. And so we teach them to actually have compassion for the bully, so they have some understanding. And a lot of my kids now, even if they get bullied, they'll just take a pause, give a little smile, and walk away. And nothing will fend a bully off more than if you just don't react. They can't stand that. They can't stand that. So if you have a bully at home, just smile like this and walk away, okay? Because truly, you're right, bullies doesn't necessarily, we as adults also go through a bit of that. It doesn't just stop when you're 18.
No, it doesn't. You even see some of these kids on social media, when I'm going through Instagram Reels, and it's adults that are commenting on these kids' posts, which to me just blows my mind. They're showing the world that the kids
Jenna's
are showing
not
the world.
having it.
No, she's not having it. Yeah.
Jenna's not having it.
But these kids are putting themselves out there to show the world what they're passionate in. And these adults are trying to take them down. What's with that?
There are so many other things you can do with your time.
I know. Go golfing. Join
a book club.
Be a food blogger. Actually, that would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
We could do that.
That would be it.
So when I come back in January, we're going to start.
Starts here.
Even if it's a 3-day food blog, we're going to do it. And what's funny about that is I think some adults, we're so lucky at LeBlanc, we don't have guardians and parents like that. We have such supportive people, and we also have resources to help our parents and guardians so that they feel like they can ask questions and be really open, and because the industry is always changing too, so we want to be there with our finger on the pulse so we can help them with questions and any concerns and anything they have. But some people live vicariously through their little ones, and my thing is, it's never too late for you, even if you're 40, 50, 60, to have a passion, because your kid will see that. So I think it's inspiring for an adult to pursue their own passions, because their kids will see that and go, okay, when I'm my mom's age or my dad's age, I can still live for myself too, right? Because we get a lot of parents, my kids, they're my everything, they're my world. Absolutely, for sure. But also, don't forget yourself in the process too.
That is a good reminder, especially as I can imagine how much energy they're putting into helping their kid land roles, learn lines, etc. That's a lot. It's a lot of work for sure.
Yes.
You're a mom, right?
Oh yeah.
Are you a mom as well?
Yeah, I got 2. Yeah.
You both have 2?
Yeah.
No, I have 3. I have twins and a daughter. Yeah.
3, 2.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. And are you noticing as well, with them, how they're in school. Not to flip the script, but like I'm just
love it.
curious.
Who's
Actually,
interviewing who
I
here?
know, I know.
I love it. I'm for it.
Yeah.
Oh, Charles
Yeah.
walked out again. He's like, this
Had enough of this guy.
This interview's just gone off the rails. So my thing is, I'm curious. Like, have you noticed? Because you went to school in Moncton, I presume, or did you?
No,
Neither one of us.
No.
No.
You did?
No.
Where did you go to school?
Cape Breton.
Cape Breton,
Ontario.
Ontario.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Are you noticing as well, though, like your kids being in school, that it's so different from when you?
Oh.
It's a whole new world.
That's what I find.
And not just
Yeah.
the new math.
Oh, the new
man.
math. The new math. Yeah, I've been hearing about that.
Yeah.
I've been hearing about
Our
that.
previous guest, she'll tell you all about the math. She's great. You
Yeah.
can watch the episode with
Oh, is that
Sarah if you
coming
want
out?
to.
It went out on Monday,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
our
cool.
episode with Sarah if you want to talk math.
So watch
was
that on
fantastic.
Monday.
Yeah.
No, but at the same time, for as much as things change in the way that people bully or the way that people communicate and whatever,
Yeah.
there's also so much that's still the same, right? There's still bullies that bully for the same reasons, and that, like what you talked about, that idea of compassion and trying to understand
Yeah.
other people's, family life and whatever, like those things don't necessarily change. The speed of things changes, but what I see as a positive change is just like what you're doing with the school. There's so much more talk about emotions, about different avenues that people will explore in their lives. There's so much more openness around a lot of things that I don't remember growing up.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic to see.
We taught that recently. So one of the techniques, because we do every term 8 new techniques,
Okay.
and we never repeat. So we're kind of known as the technique school, the science of acting, which I'm super proud of. One of our weeks was emotional intelligence, and what was cool about that is we taught our young students how to leave the other person good and how to leave yourself good. Emotional intelligence is not being too selfish, but not being too selfless. How do you have a balance in leaving the other person in a good place, but you still respected your own integrity? Right? So
Love that.
I think emotional intelligence is something we should teach more.
Yes. Yes.
We could talk forever, we know this, but we do have a time limit, so we're going to wrap it up. And before we do that, you're going to let everyone know how to find out more about the school online.
So you can find LeBlanc School of Acting on Instagram under leblanc.school.acting. We're also on X, aka Twitter, under LSA _ training. But we're on Facebook under LeBlanc School of Acting. You can find us there. You can follow or give us a like there. And our website is leblancschool.com. I'm excited. We're going to be revamping a new website next year. We're going through some changes now. Our social media as well is going through a bit of a revamp and refresh. But I really appreciate the time today discussing young people, what's going on, mental health, because I think if more people are in the arts, like I said before, I think it's just such an amazing way for them to have an outlet and to be able to put themselves out there and also, do something inspiring, because a lot of people will watch that and be moved, because when you see yourself on camera or being portrayed in a character, it's moving, right? We're playing real people.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love talking with you, and I love being able to celebrate all that you've done. You have created something incredible, and I love watching it grow. So thank you for coming back and giving us this update.
Absolutely, it's home here.
Literally.
You both are home, so I'll be back again at some point.
Sounds good.
So,
Fantastic. We hope you'll be back again with us next week. Until then, take care.
and I
See you
hope
later.
Charles will be back soon. Where's Charles? Did he come back?